The Asian American Pacific Islander Nurses Association of Nevada presents Healthy Mondays with AAPINA of Nevada. Start the week healthy and right with interesting conversations on living a healthy lifestyle. And now, your Healthy Mondays host, Dr. Mary-Faye Aczon Armstrong.
Aloha. Good evening. I'm yours truly, Dr. Mary-Faye Aczon Armstrong, founding president of the Asian American Pacific Islander Nurse Association of Nevada and professor at Roseman University College of Nursing. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtangkilik sa aming programa, Healthy Mondays with the AAPINA of Nevada. Well, listeners out there, do you know that September is the National Yoga Awareness Month? Was designated by the Department of Health and Human Services, and National Yoga Month was developed to raise awareness of yoga's health benefits and provide people with guidance and tools to improve their well-being. So tonight, we have a very special young lady and yoga instructor from the state of Oregon. And I want to welcome Ms. Ashley Aczon. Thank you for agreeing to be our special guest tonight. Welcome to Healthy Monday.
Hi, of course. Thank you for having me.
So please tell us about yourself and anything you would like to share to our listeners out there.
I've been teaching yoga for the past 4 to 5 years, but I've been practicing since I graduated high school after a knee injury, and just kind of finding something to keep myself busy and healthy after that. But I will say that I really picked up yoga wholeheartedly after having my son, Sebastian. It just helped me through the pregnancy process and post and everything like that. And now it's just such an ingrained part of my life that I definitely love talking about it.
And then earlier, we were talking about your experiences and you said something like you were actually training here in Las Vegas.
Yes, I remember at my previous work, I had the opportunity to fly to the headquarters of an old company that I worked for called True Fusion, and got to experience a lot of in-depth training on different types and styles of yoga, experience Las Vegas a little bit, and just meet a bunch of great people there in the town. And so, if you're ever looking for a place to go, it's a great place to go and do some yoga.
Yes, and then, tonight we're going to be focusing on the benefits of yoga for men and children, because Ashley is coming back towards the end of the month to talk about women's health and actually the benefits of taking care of yourself. I think at the end of the month, we're going to be celebrating women's health, and we'll have Ashley to talk about the benefits of yoga for women, but tonight we're going to focus for benefits for men. So we can start off. What is really yoga? Can you share with us what's yoga? Because some people, when they hear yoga, it's like, oh, it's not for me. So
a lot of people think yoga is just bending your body and contorting yourself into different poses. While that is a facet of it, there are 8 limbs of yoga. And to put it, and to wrap it up in a kind of a short little summary, yoga means to join or to yoke. It's the union of something. And to many people, that can mean a whole bunch of different things. For me personally, I interpret that as joining the mind and body, joining also your mind, body, and your spirit, and to whatever you believe in. So it can be a very physical practice. It can be a very mental practice, and it can also be a very spiritual practice. There's so many different ways that you can take it depending on what you're needing at the time, and that's going to change throughout different phases of your life. But ultimately, yoga is a really good way to learn how your mind and body talk to each other, to learn what your body needs, and allowing your body to be your best teacher through movements, or what we call asanas, and through breathing, what we call pranayama.
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned about mind, body, and spirit. I'm a strong advocate of holistic care. So in nursing, we call it holistic nursing, when we care for our patients, not only for their physical needs, but also mental and spiritual needs. So let's dive into what kind of benefits would yoga be for men?
Well, for men, like we were chatting about before we went on air, what I've noticed a lot, there's a few things I noticed specifically for men, and one is just surface level flexibility. Men tend to hold a lot more tension, or obviously they have it's a lot easier for them to put on muscle, which means they're going to be a lot more tense, a lot more tight. So flexibility is a huge one in order to obviously, protect those muscles, protect the joints. Another one is also generally just strength. In yoga, you're holding certain poses for longer periods of time. And so it naturally builds a lot of strength, especially for men who are pairing their yoga practice with strength training or cardiovascular training. It definitely helps the body work a little bit better in people who are working to put on muscle or who have muscle tightness. Another thing that we were talking about is that men have a tendency to not want to slow down, men and women both, but a lot of time there's this idea, in order to be that macho man or something, you have to keep going, you take no rest days, the traditional gym bro type of guy who just keeps going, doesn't let their body rest. Well, yoga gives them that chance and opportunity and to take those rest days and still be productive. So I think yoga gives men a opportunity to still uphold whatever their view of that macho vibe being, and still be able to rest and rehabilitate their bodies.
So I was looking online, and some literature out there is saying that yoga, one of the major benefit of yoga for men is extending their range of motion, because men have certain muscles that are the main targets of exercise at the gym, such as hamstrings, the gluteal muscles, abdomen, and shoulders. So those are just one of the things that I saw there. And then some of the things that you also touch upon is the flexibility, all over body strength and conditioning. And then you said something about focus and full body awareness, right? And then also, sometimes men also slump, so they can correct years of body imbalance. And then it also prevent injuries, right?
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I see people with injuries coming in and like, oh, I need yoga now that I'm injured. And it's, you could have prevented it, but now we know and we can take it from there. So yes, injuries definitely.
And another one I'm looking at my list is reducing stress, right? And then improving digestion. And I'll tell you, I love talking stories about things. And I have one, there's a Berkey, is that Berkey Yoga? Am I pronouncing it
Oh,
right?
Bikram.
Bikram, I'm sorry, Bikram. And when I was still in Hawaii, one of my coworkers was doing that. And she said the first day she was so embarrassed because each movement she was passing gas.
What it's for.
Oh, what it's for. Yes.
I was actually just talking to this. I taught a yoga class this morning, and we focused primarily on twists. So just twisting the upper body. It helps with the back and spinal cord. But I let them know, I was like, it is very natural. A lot of movements in yoga are made to detox. And it's one of the ways the body detoxes. But what it does is when you twist to your right first, it massages your ascending colon. And then the thought is on the left is your descending. So you always go right to left when you're doing twists so you don't mess things up. But it definitely helps get everything flowing. It helps you be regular.
With digestion. So Ashley is talking about all our different parts of our intestine in our body, because we just sit there and then, when you twist, then it moves around. We have this involuntary peristalsis movement in our digestive system. And sometimes when we sit there, the involuntary movement is not enough to move along some of your stools, right? So you get constipation, right? Yes. So another one is improving breathing. What other? So later on, I asked, for our listeners out there, I asked Ashley to do about 10-minute yoga for us. So as we towards the end of our interview. So what about enhancing brain function?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think it just helps a ton with mental clarity, being present in the moment. People can be highly intelligent. People can multitask all they want. You could be driving and listening to your kids in the back, but you don't get the highest brain function unless you're in the present moment. So by doing yoga and practicing breathing exercises, it forces you to tune in. You know, the saying, the jack of all trades, a master of none. It's kind of the same way that our brain works. If you allow your brain to have tunnel vision for a period of time for something that you're working on, a big project or something that you need to complete by a certain deadline, if you're able to just focus your brain in on that, then of course you're going to complete it at probably, it's going to be a lot more quality piece of work. But I think just in today's society, we're all over the place. Everyone has access to internet, which makes us very intelligent, but we also spread ourselves really thin, especially in the brain space. And so by doing yoga, it forces us to lock in and just focus on one thing at a time.
I love that when you mention about in the moment, because a lot of times we worry about what happened yesterday, we worry about what's going to happen tomorrow, and we forget that we have to focus on what it is now. You know, it's a concept that we have in counseling, like the here and now. You have to focus on what's happening right in front of you, and that reduces stress and worry, right? Because if you think about what happened in the past, you can't do anything about it. It happened already, and you can't do anything about what's going to happen tomorrow because it hasn't come. So I'm really glad you mentioned about the here and now.
Oh,
And
absolutely. It's probably the hardest part, in my opinion. I have many clients tell me, oh, the hardest part is at the end of yoga, we always offer the opportunity for what we call shavasana. And that means corpse pose. And you just lay there and you're just still, which means you're just with yourself and with your body for minutes and minutes and minutes, absolutely doing nothing, absolutely thinking about nothing. And for some people, that can be the most uncomfortable thing. We wear heart rate monitors in a lot of our classes at my current studio, and you'll notice certain people, although everyone else is starting to relax and go into their corpse pose and go into their state of relaxation, certain people's heart rates start spiking right at that point. And it's you know those are the people who are probably dealing with a lot of stress, and then they'll tell you after, like, oh, I couldn't stop thinking about this, or I couldn't stop thinking about what I have to do for dinner and cook and like do the laundry. So it's very hard for people.
and that's what we call mindfulness, you know, in nursing. Mindfulness, it's what's happening now and what's happening with you right now, and not thinking about anything. So that's really good for mindfulness. Okay, so anything else that you wanted to add about the major benefits of yoga for men?
Men specifically, no, I don't think so. I think everyone could definitely benefit from it. And even though there is a stigma that mostly women do yoga, there are definitely a lot of men, I think, now that are realizing it can help them just function better as an athlete, as a person, and just be a good neighbor to others. So I think there are many benefits for men, and men should definitely look into it a lot more.
Excellent. Well, what about for young kids? Now you have. I was hoping you'll show Sebastian.
Oh, so I thought about it. So he's 2.5 now. Actually, Garrett just took him to go to the store to get ice cream, so he wouldn't be screaming. He's been on this dinosaur kick and has been just roaring around the house randomly. So in order to film this, we're like, oh, we better let him run around outside before bedtime.
Well, yoga for young kids, what I saw in the literature is that yoga helps children manage their anxiety, and it improves children's emotional regulation. It also boosts children's self-esteem and also teaches them self-acceptance, also teaches them, as just like with men, you know, children's concentration and memory, uh, teaches them calming techniques, and you can add to it like how is it helping them manage their anxiety, how is yoga helping them to regulate their emotions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So for our family personally, Sebastian's 2.5 years old. And while he's learning how to communicate and how to talk, he's not great at it just yet. So he has all these heightened emotions and feelings and learning sensory, but he doesn't quite have the way to express it yet. And that can get really, really frustrating for him. And I used to see him like balling up his fist and just slapping something because he didn't know what to do with that emotion. We taught him just to breathe And if he needed a moment, that he can go have a quiet moment instead of timeout and things like that. So teaching the mindfulness early at that age allows them that outlet for emotions and things that he might not be able to express yet. And just doing the poses and doing yoga, he can do about 3 yoga poses, but he tries to do others. But he likes to just sit there and breathe. And I think it can be a really great thing, especially as a parent. If you're a parent who does yoga, to have your kid do it with you and watch you, because when you're doing it, you become a lot more calm, and it teaches your child that this is a tool to help me calm down as well.
That's great. So if our listeners out there wanted to start to join a yoga exercise group, what would be your recommendation for them? How to look for a best yoga group to join?
Yeah, so it really depends on what you're looking for. Especially here in the US, there's a ton of different types and styles of yoga. I mean, I'm sure people and your listeners have heard all the different types of words like vinyasa or power yoga or Bikram yoga, hot yoga. There are so many. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I would say, to break it down, most people are looking for a few things, and that's usually one is to gain flexibility. And in that case, if you're looking to gain flexibility, I would definitely say a restorative class or a yin yoga class. Those are classes that you're holding poses for a much longer period of time. If you are looking for strength and that heat and that fire and to breathe life into your body, it's going to be a hard workout. Your heart rate will go up and you're going to feel like you just worked out. I would highly suggest power yoga or Bikram yoga. Bikram yoga is heated to 105 degrees in a 45% humidified room. So it is very good at testing your self-discipline. But if you're looking for mindfulness, a lot of times you can find that in the comfort of your own home online through things like Yoga Nidra. It's a lot of guided meditation with different ways that you can sit and meditate. Also, Kundalini yoga is a very spiritual practice. So if you're looking for something more along the lines of breath work and meditation and something to connect to your higher self, then I would highly suggest Kundalini yoga.
So thank you for those recommendations, Ashley. So this COVID-19 global pandemic is really keeping us at home. So I was thinking, well, how timely that you can do yoga by yourself at home setting. So what's your recommendation for someone who is just starting, and what would be, how would they start slowly with
Slowly.
doing yoga?
Slowly. Don't try to rush into it. There are so many fancy poses and it can get really intimidating. So I would start off with very basic grounding poses, poses that make you feel safe and make you feel comfortable. A lot of times those are going to be very basic poses such as child's pose or a forward fold. And you can find these all online on YouTube. There's a really great YouTube channel. Her name is Yoga by Candace, I believe. And over quarantine, I was watching a lot of her videos because it's very calming, very relaxing, and you can do it in your own space. Also, just committing to at least 5 minutes a day, whether that's just holding child's pose or downward facing dog or doing a sun salutation. If you commit to 5 minutes a day, I promise you your practice is going to grow a lot more at home from that.
So start slowly, as Ashley is talking about. Start slowly with the yoga. I honestly haven't tried yoga. I only watch it, but the more that I read about it, say this is something, because I'm not the most flexible person.
Well, that's,
You don't have
flexibility.
Okay. Well, as you promised, you can give us maybe 5-10 minutes, some yoga poses that you can demonstrate for us right now.
Absolutely. So honestly, you could actually, if you want to do yoga right now, you can actually do it seated just like this. So we'll start off here. Just get into a really comfortable seat. I'm sitting gently cross-legged here, one ankle over the other. The main thing you want to focus on in getting really comfortable is sitting up really tall. So really root down through your tailbone and lift up through the crown of your head. And then bring your hands palms face down onto your knees. And once you do that, just roll the shoulders back, down and away from your ears, and close your eyes here. And just take a moment. I want you to start connecting to your breath. No need to change anything just yet. Just notice your thoughts and emotions and the energy that you're bringing to your practice here. We'll only be here for a few minutes. So take the time, allow yourself this time and space to give back to your body. Then while you're here, start to deepen the breath. Slow and controlled breath in through the nose, and slow and controlled breath out through the nose. And just imagine the breath filling up the lungs, the rib cage, and the belly. And with every exhale, just release any tension you're still holding on to, any stresses from the day. Continue to breathe here. Start to relax the jaw, soften the shoulders, and continue to lengthen up through the spine. We'll be here for about 2 more rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, keep your eyes closed, but bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Just keep the shoulders nice and soft. Continue to lengthen up through the spine. And start to find a little bit of a deeper breath here. So breathing in and out through the nose only, finding what's called our Ujjayi pranayama. So as you breathe, constrict the back of your throat and breathe in and out through your nose only. It's almost like fogging up a mirror in front of you, but with your mouth closed. And as you are here, continue to deepen the breath and really feel the breath move underneath the palms. Imagine that air, that prana or life force filling up your body. 2 more rounds of breath here. Then slowly begin to release the palms back down towards the knees and inhale, flutter your eyes open. On your next inhale breath, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up, and take your gaze up. Open the throat up towards the ceiling. This is what's called a seated cow pose, lifting the chest up, broadening through the shoulders, slight back bend. On your exhale breath, round the upper spine, tuck your chin in towards the chest, and allow your head to hang heavy. Really push the back of your heart here towards the back wall or wherever you're sitting. On your next inhale, come back to that cow pose, lift the chest up, roll the shoulders back, and lead with the heart, almost as if you're reaching your heart up towards the sky. Then exhale, begin to round the spine, tuck the chin in towards the chest once more. Once you feel comfortable with these movements, start to use your breath. Inhale, lift the chest up. Then exhale, round the upper spine. And for a few rounds of breath, just begin to move through these 2 movements, using your entire inhale and your entire exhale to really navigate these shapes, articulate the spine. Still continuing to deepen the breath as you go. We'll go 1 more way each side. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to make your way back to a neutral spine. From here, inhale, reach your arms up overhead, soften the shoulders away from the ears, bring your right hand down gently to your side and just reach the left fingertips up and over. Keep the left hip anchored down towards the ground, but soften the left shoulder away from the ear. If this feels okay, then press into the right palm on whatever surface you're reaching on and really breathe into the left side of the rib cage, opening up the left rib cage, taking in more oxygen. Find 2 more breaths here. With every inhale, imagine lengthening the spine, and with every exhale, start to bend just a little bit deeper. And inhale brings you back through center, reach both arms up overhead once more. Then on your exhale, this time bring the left palm down, reach the right fingertips up. And same thing here, just re-anchor the right hip down. Really breathe into the right rib cage, open up the lungs. Find 2 deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, come back through center, reach both arms up overhead. And on your exhale breath, cactus the arms out wide, almost like goalpost arms, but lift the chest up just like in our cow pose. Really pull the elbows away from the body. Take up space here. Find 2 rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, come back through center. Exhale, bring the hands home through heart. Tuck your chin and close your eyes. And just come back to the breath once more. And allow the hands to come back down towards the legs. This time, take your right fingertips up and over to the left side of your head, gently bringing the right ear to right shoulder. Continue to root down through the tailbone and lift up through the spine. And just gently press on the side of the head, opening up the left side of the neck. Gentle stretch here. Then walk the hands towards the back of the head, tuck the chin in towards the chest, open up the back of the neck. Again, still finding length through the spine. One more breath here. And slowly release the right arm down. This time bring the left hand to the side of the right head, or right side of the head, left ear, left shoulder. And same thing here. Breathe into the right side of the neck, upper spine, wherever you're feeling this the most, send your breath to those areas. One more breath here. And slowly begin to walk the fingertips toward the back of the head, tilting the chin in towards the chest, opening up the back of the neck. One more breath here. And slowly release the hands back down onto the knees. And once more here, close your eyes. Just soften the shoulders. Stay connected to your breath. Relax your jaw. And come back to that deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the belly, the rib cage, the lungs. And exhale out anything that does not serve you. Continue to breathe here for a few rounds of breath. And allow yourself to turn inwards here. Remember that it is okay to stop and take a second to get back to your body. So take the time now. Allow yourself this time to be still, to be present, to get back to your body, and to allow yourself the rest that you so greatly deserve. Take 4 more rounds of breath. Slow and controlled in through the nose. Slow and controlled out through the nose. Last round of breath here, sealing your practice. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open. I always like to end my classes by bringing my hands to heart center in gratitude for always letting me just be there and guide you through your practice and just be here for you and be with you guys all here today. I bow forward. Namaste.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley, for being our guest tonight. And to our listeners, happy National Yoga Awareness Month. We are so blessed to have Ashley Aczon tonight to share with us some of her techniques for yoga, for basic yoga. So thank you again, Ashley, for being with us tonight. And of course, PHLV Radio for our partnership with bringing healthy tips to our listeners out there. So remember, our listeners, every Monday is a healthy Monday. Aloha.
Hello?
The Asian American Pacific Islander Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you Healthy Mondays with AAPINA of Nevada.